right, beautiful people. Thank you so much for joining me once again. I appreciate all of you so much for the support, the love that you show on this platform. We keep it going. All right. Today, we are in Burkina Faso. Amazing story coming from Burkina Faso. This is not just amazing story. This is actually a very major and big news coming from Burkina Faso. Many people are like, why do you talk so much about Burkina Faso? You know, today, I don't want us to rush. We are taking things easy so that explanation will be very clean. Breakdown will be very clean, right? People are like, why do you talk so much about Burkina Faso? You know, the thing is, it's not about talking so much about Burkina Faso. The eye of Pan-Africanism today is on Burkina Faso. You understand? We want our leaders to replicate the things that we are seeing in Burkina Faso because we are monitoring Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, the entire Sahel, we are monitoring. So when something that our fathers, Kwame Nkrumah and co were talking about during that time, because of some of the reasons why they are no longer with us, they've been eliminated, and today we have people who stood up and they are taking that course. We need to support them. We need to talk about it. We need to, let people understand that Africa can do it, right? So if you're already here, do me a favor by hitting the like button. Subscribe to be part of this amazing, wonderful family. This is the best family on YouTube, right? And across, right? When it comes to Pan-Africanism and Pan-African conversation. So don't be left out. Yeah, so the government of Burkina Faso, according to the report right here with me, the government has told, there's an Australian company, mining company in Burkina Faso. The name is West African Resources Limited. They have been in Burkina Faso, about mining and, if you come to Burkina Faso, then times where Captain Ibrahim Traore was not there, the mining code was different, completely different. But there's a new sheriff in town. So the government of Burkina Faso has told them that they want to increase their ownership stake in this particular mining company from 15% to 40%. 15% to 40%. Yeah, the name of this particular mine is Kiaka Gold Mine. And this mine, those of you who are in Burkina Faso or those who are in Burkina Faso will understand. This mine, according to report, is one of the country's most strategic gold assets. And one of the questions is why now? Why by this particular time they are making this decision? Investors, the private investors are not happy, by the way. They are saying certain things. They are threatening the government of Burkina Faso. But look like Ibrahim Traore closed deaf ear to the threat. I'm going to explain that to you, right? One of the main reasons why Burkina Faso is stretching its hand right now is that this Kiaka project alone is, according to report, expected to produce 240,000 to 280,000 ounces of gold annually. That's a lot, right? And when you combine this with other operations, the company is targeting up to 490,000 ounces in 2026 alone, 490,000 ounces. In simple terms, the mine is about to hit peak production. The government right now want bigger share before the real money begin to flow. Somebody will be like, why? Real money begin to flow? What do you mean? Calm down. I mean, this is interesting, right? Before we look at what actually triggered this move, if the government of Burkina Faso own, let's say 40% right now, as they are pushing to do, this one, they just inform them, all right? They've not yet done it, but they inform them that this is what we want to do. So this is the new game right now. This is the new thing we are going to do right now. It's not going to be 15%. We want to come to the table. And when they say they want to come to the table, it means a lot. If this agreement is reached and Burkina Faso own 40% of the share, what it simply means is that the mine is not fully foreign owned anymore. It has become a joint partnership. So let's say this particular mine make 100 million US dollars in a year. The government of Burkina Faso is going to get 40 million US dollars out of it. And the company is going to take 60 million of the profit. Before, it was 15%. So what that basically means is that Burkina Faso would have gotten just 15 million US dollars out of the 100 million US dollars. So this move is going to triple the government income or the government revenue from this or profit from this particular mine when this agreement is reached. The authorities of this company, the private investors are not happy and they are threatening and all that. So this is where the fear is coming into the private investors. When this happens, Burkina Faso is having strong influence in major decisions when it comes to this particular mine. They can sit on the board and make critical decisions. They are not going to get the final say, but they will make a lot of shift when it comes to decision making. They can push for local jobs, local suppliers and environmental rules, because some of these mining companies, they mine in your communities, and at the end of the day, the communities don't benefit anything. When you go to most of the mining companies, the communities look very poor, but there's money on the land. the people look poor. So these people in the community need to benefit because the mine is in their community. If it is gold right now, the gold is in our community, and therefore when you are mining the gold, making profit, our community should be able to develop. When that doesn't happen, it simply means that you came to exploit our community because we are not getting anything from our own land, the resource that nature deposited on our land. So Burkina Faso can push. The problem around previously was that when it comes to this type of decision making, and when it comes to local suppliers, pushing for local suppliers, local job and environmental rules, because Burkina Faso is owning only 15% of the share, decision making wise, they don't have much say. But right now, they have pushed closer to almost 50%, that is 40%. And therefore, they have critical, they can make decision, they can push and make a shift, as I said. Now, let us be on the right perspective. This doesn't mean that Burkina Faso is now having full ownership of this particular company. I explained that earlier. They need 50+% to have full ownership. For now, they have 40%, from 15% to 40%. And I believe that as they are pushing in, a time is going to come, as they will be, calling and pushing for local suppliers and local job and pushing for environmental rules. What is going to happen is that they will push in and push in until they take over. I believe a time is going to come, they'll wake up and say, look, we want to have 50+%. And then that is ownership right there. They have majority of the say. But for now, the company still have the final say though, but Burkina Faso will make a lot of shifts in the final say. Before you get to the final, a lot of penalties will happen. Anyway, let's look at what actually triggered this particular move in Burkina Faso. According to the report, this decision is in respect to the mining code, the new mining code of Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso has introduced a new mining law in 2024. I spoke about this many times. This law allowed the state to increase its stake in key projects. At first, it wasn't like that. At first, these guys come and they decide you can't scale up. But this time, the government can scale up. All right. This is where the investors are very, very critical and they are afraid. The government can push for increase in the stake. The current government under Ibrahim Traore, when you look at it, they are pushing for greater national control of natural resources in all fields, from gold and other natural resources, right? And you know what? This announcement by the Burkinabe authority to this company has made an immediate impact. This is where I was telling you that the investors are angry. This mining company, after hearing the announcement, the company halted trading of its share on the Australia exchange because the investors, they got nervous. Why? Because a higher government stake is equal to less profit for these investors. They want to always have the higher profit. Why should I have the resources? You come from all the way there to come and invest and then make a lot of profit where me myself I can also invest. It doesn't make sense, right? So if I can invest in it, I don't need you, right? When you have more state control, like what Burkina Faso is coming to do, that also equal to more uncertainty for these foreign companies. They don't know the future. What happen is that what will happen if in the next 2 years you wake up and say you are buying all the share? What is going to happen? What will happen to our investors? So investors are kind of nervous, and then should we go, should we not go? So they halted the share on the Australian exchange. I mean, the trading of their share. So this is making the investors panicking. Now, the investors are also threatening that, they are going to pull out. Okay, they are going to pull out foreign investors who come on board. This is always the things they do. They always threaten you when you want to make decision. They will come with threat and blah 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 to make it look like without them you can't make it, kind of thing. But Ibrahim Traore, the leader of Burkina Faso, practically turned deaf ear to these particular warnings and things. They want to take over. They want to make sure that they have a bigger say when it comes to decision making. And one thing also is that the payment of the local workers, the working condition of the local workers, the environmental rules are strictly connected to the decision, the final decision of this company, because Burkina Faso is holding only 10 to 15%. If the Burkinabe government then want to push that, look, let's increase the pay for the workers, they are not going to agree. They will come up with a lot of excuses. Okay, environment, let's build some road and then do. No, you have less say. They will give you so many, the reason for you to feel like, yeah, they are right. So if you increase your stake, your share, then you can enforce it that, look, we are going to do this because we have this and this and this. It gives you authority in the space when it comes to table decision making. So this practically, when you look at it, is going to make Burkina Faso have more revenue stay in their country when it comes to gold. They have greater sovereignty over their own natural resources, and then potential funding for development. They have a 5-year development plan, and all this development plan, they are looking at making sure that they don't get fund from outsiders where decision making, it will become a banter. We have to be arguing with some outsiders. So they want to fund the project, the 5-year development plan, with their own resources and things that they have in their country. They want to develop locally so that they will have final say in the decision making. So this threat in this right now is that the investors may pull back, low new mining investment. People who want to come in and invest more, they will pull back, and then there's going to be disputes when it comes to the table, because most of the time the people don't agree. The foreigners don't agree with the government who own the resources, because that is why they always make sure that you have a little share. They don't allow you to increase your share. You have a little share so that you have a less say when it comes to decision making. At the table, you cannot argue with them. They have the final say. But right now, when you sit at the table, Burkina Faso have a lot to say. Burkina Faso can push and make a decision to favor their people, the community, and their development. So family, this is Burkina Faso. This is what we want African leaders to do. Ghana also is taking kind of same strategy when it comes to gold mine. We are talking about the diamond gold, and for example, let me give you a piece of it before I leave you. The diamond gold right now is being taken by the president's brother, who is a businessman. He's not a politician. And when you look at the story, the previous government under the MPP, Akufo-Addo was the one who encouraged the young man to take the mine, give him letter and blah, blah, blah. There's some story there. In the next video, I'm going to play that video and explain those things to you. But today, because the government is no longer in power, because of politics, the opposition is trying to make it look like family and friends kind of things. But I don't blame them. During the term of Akufo-Addo, they also, use this banter against them. So that is their own politics right there. Let's keep our mouth out of that politics right there. But well, family, let me know your thought in this on this particular story. It's interesting one, a very big one. I want to know your thought on this. Hit the like button and subscribe to be part of this amazing family. All right. See you in the next episode. Respect.